This conference will now be recorded.
So in previous session, we have seen how to create a data flow from the scratch, and from that data flow, we have created a data set. So let's see if I have a data set. From the data set, how I'm going to create a recipe. So what is recipe, and how I can create a data set with recipe. Let's discuss that point, and we'll discuss about recipe in more detail. But the data set what we have created, from that data set, how I can create a recipe from that, we'll see on this session. So before that, we need to understand what is recipe. So when I say recipe, what does it mean? So what we can do with the recipe. So now, if you see the data set what we have created, let me open the Analytics Studio. From the App Launcher, I go to Analytics Studio, and from Analytics Studio, if you go to all item, if you see, I have created a data set. There is my opportunity. And the moment I click, you see, as in previous session, we have created a lens here. Okay, like in the lens, nothing but like a report you can say, we have created this. So now from this data set, what we have, how I am going to create a recipe from this. Okay, so when I say recipe, what it means. So recipe, if you say something, it's like, see, I have data set, and data set we created based on many transformation. If you see from data manager, if you go to my data flow and recipes, if you see the all opportunity, fast open opportunity what we have created before some time, with many transformation, we have created a data set. Okay, so recipe nothing but is a saved set of transformation or steps. So these are nothing but each a transformation or some steps we created with help of some nodes. So recipe is a saved set of transformation or steps that you want to perform on a specific source object or a connected object. Let me make a note of it and I'll explain theoretically what's happening. So if when somebody say what is recipe, simply we can say it's just saved set of transformation, nothing but each node what we have used, saved set of transformation or steps that you want to perform on a specific source, dataset, or connected data. So see, I have created a dataset with the help of in the previous example, with this help of this transformation nodes. So the steps or the transformation what I have used, based on that we have created a data set. And recipe nothing but it's a saved set of steps what we created from the specific data set. So if this data set I will take, from this data set I can create a recipe. Okay, so this recipe will use to perform transformation like I can combine data from multiple data sets. So this is one data set. So like this I can have multiple data sets and I can combine multiple data set or multiple connected objects to create a recipe. So we'll see how I can create a recipe from this. It's nothing but to enrich existing data set which available in my Einstein Analytics platform, to add some transformation, adding some new row and column. Then we'll see how that recipe will create from this. So whenever there is an existing data set, we create recipe from this. It's nothing but going to create a new data set. It's not going to change anything on the existing data set. So let's see, this data set giving me 580 records. So now I want some set of data from this, not all. Then I can create a recipe on this, and then I can filter out what data exactly I want. So for example, if you see, if you go to my all items, this is my data set. If you go to this data set, see, this is the data set what we have created. Here's my opportunity, what I have did in the previous example. If you go here with this drop down, there is you can option, you can see something called create recipe. So I am going to create a recipe on this saved data set, or on this saved steps of transformation what we did on my source data, which create a data set. On top of the data set, we are going to create a recipe. So recipe nothing but is a saved set of transformation or steps which we want to perform on a specific source data set or a connected data. Okay. So how we are going to do? So go to the data set, from which data set you want to create a recipe. So this data set going to give us around 500 records, which I have shown you previous session. So now out of 500, I want to, okay, not all columns I do not want. What columns I have on this data set? I want very specific columns and very few number of records for some analysis. So I can create a recipe from this and I can filter out the record what I want. So what I'm going to do, from this data set, I click on the drop down, then I got option called create recipe. Click on create recipe, then I can give the recipe name. What recipe I want to create, the name I can give. Let's consider I'll give the name as raise my UPP recipe. Okay. If this is my recipe, so now see the data set, based on data set, I got what my recipe is there. So what kind of thing we can do on this recipe? In the recipe, we can do many things. So let's example, if you see, usually the recipe when you open up, it's in the form of row and column. You can see the column information what I have, all the columns what I have on data set, everything is here. And based on that, if you see the preview, which columns you want, all are listed out here, like account ID, name, stage, rating, and owner ID. Okay. So apart from that, there are multiple things in there. So we can use data transformation to add row and column in Einstein Analytics. So if you want to do, if I want to add something new, if you want to add a new data on this, I can click on this or I can append the data. So if you want to add a data, you can do from here. If you want to append a data, you can do from here. So you can see multiple options on this recipe page. Okay. If you totally, I have 583 rows right now I'm showing here. Okay, if you want to see the metadata of this, if you click on this, you can see complete metadata informations. Okay, so if you want to add data, you can click on this, you can append data from here. If you want to filter, okay, I do not want all records from here, I want to filter something, you can click here what I want to filter. I can apply filter here and I can take it up. Same way, if I want to do some kind of aggregate, okay, I want to aggregately take in the opportunity, what are the amount I have, I want to do some aggregate on that, I can use this aggregate, nothing but aggregation, and you see something called column profile, and I can save and I can save as a new recipe, or even I can create a data set finder. So overall I can say from a recipe what you can do, if I have created a recipe from a data set, then I can add some other data to it, or I can append the data. Okay, so when I do add data, it's nothing but to add some columns to the source data set. So from this source data set I got this one, but now I want to get some other data set, okay, to add their columns on this recipe. I can do that, nothing but I'm like a VLOOKUP, how you do with two different data set. Same thing I can do in the recipe, from two different data set I can bring the data and I can show here. Okay, same way when you want to append, let's I have two data sets and I want to combine that two. Let's in data set one you have 50 records and data set two you have 100 records. So I'll combine it and I'll make 150 records. That time you can do the append kind of thing here. Okay, so let's see if I want to add data, simply I can go here, from which data set I want to add the data. Let's say I want to add the data from the account owner, where I have 1001 records. Simply I can do account owner. Okay, if you see the account owner, so what are the fields you want to take here? Okay, so between how we're matching, we have data set one and data set two. From there, how you are going to match based on account ID, I will take all data. Okay, you want to do lookup, or you want to do left join or right join or inner join, how you want to get data, that we can do here. So it's full outer join I do here. If I do it, okay, I just click on done. So I'm just joining the data from two data sets. One is nothing but my opportunity data set what I created, and in the previous example what I created based on my account owners. So everything you can see here. Now if you see the account and their account owners, everything will come. All the data will be loaded here. It's nothing but I'm combining of multiple things. And for the columns we see, these are the columns part we have. And the column level also you can see multiple things. See, in this recipe I have 17 columns what I'm displaying now. and which is not in this recipe. These fields are there which I have in the account owner, that also I can pick up. So if you see, I can add to recipe. Let's say I want to display my owner last name. I want to go here and I click add to recipe. Okay, and if you go to preview here, see, account owner last name also came up. So I can add from the two different data set. What data I want, I can combine it here. And same way, if I want to append the data, let's see, I have 583 rows. Now I want to append. So what I can do, simply I can go here, append data. Let's say I'm doing with the same example. I go to account owner, but I have 1001 accounts. I want to append it. Okay, how I'm going to append? So there are 1001 rows is going to append. Wherever I'm matching records, that will be filled up. So I'm not doing anything on this. Simply click on continue. What's happens here? Let's say I just click append. Okay, now if you see, 1000 row got appended. So when you want to, you have a specific set of data and you want to add some more set of data, then you can do the append kind of thing. Okay, so it will display all the records whatever you have. See, everything null, and then I have appended these other informations. It's all coming up here. Okay, so same way, apart from that, there are many additional transformation also you can do. For example, let me go to the starting of this data. So if you have two data sets, you want to create a recipe, start with one recipe, then add the data set and do the recipe within that, or you can append with that. Or once you have, let's say like in the report, how you do group by or setting, everything you can do here. Let's see in the account name on this column, if you click, you have multiple options. Okay, you want to keep the data as uppercase or lowercase. See, I click on the uppercase. Okay, so if I want uppercase, all the names what I have, I can make it as uppercase. See, it's become all uppercase. Or if you want, see, owner name is there, there is one more column added as uppercase. Let's say I want to show everything as lowercase. I click lowercase, I click add, see, owner is lowercase, owner is uppercase. So it's nothing but I'm doing some kind of transformation on recipe. So what kind of transformation I can do in recipe? Okay, we understood recipe nothing but is a saved set of transformation or steps that which you want to perform on a specific source data set. I have a data set. On that data set, I want to do some kind of transformation. I create a recipe. That can be data set or from the connected data. So from one recipe, I can add data from different data sets, or I can append the data to the existing recipe. And once you appended or added the data, what else we can do? We have many more transformation which you can see here. What kind of transformation we can use? Like as I have shown you, something like the converting to lowercase or uppercase. Same way we can add filter. We can do bucket, like how you do the bucket field in Salesforce report. Same way you can do here. Or you can replace a existing value from here to replace specific value from a field with some other values. Okay, or you can trim also, like if you have some white space between the some data and you want to trim the leading or trailing white spaces, then we can do that. Or you can make a substring. Okay, let's see, I want to get the account names from uh, index 3 to index 5th. So what is the name in between that? Substring you can do, or you can split. Let you have you can split a column to multiple column based on some specific characters. Let's in your data you have semicolon is there. I want to split that data into column, that you can do. Or as I shown you, you can convert to uppercase or lowercase. All are nothing but some kind of transformation what we can use in a recipe. Or you can do dimension to measurement. Let's see what kind of thing is there. Let's see, I have account name here. I want to split it based on what I split. I want to split into two columns based on the space or colon or semicolon or what. Let's say I want to split as a space. Okay, let's say I just keep add. So now you see, based on delimiter, one column divided into two columns. One is the first name or last name, whatever thing we can split it. Same way, let's see if I want, okay, we understood uppercase, lowercase, split. Okay, if you have date kind of thing, you can do the date formatting. I don't have date on this part, but if you have date, you can format that also. Okay, so when you try to do the date formatting, so now what format you want to use? Okay, this format, everything you can keep it up. Okay. So on the transformation, what else we can do in the recipe transformation? Let's I want to use a substring. Okay. Let's take this column where I'll just convert to substring kind of thing. Okay. So first, all the names starting with the opportunity. So let's say I'm doing some kind of substring here. I click here, from which let's see, from fifth position I want to do the substring, fifth to end everything. See, opportunity is the first fifth position we taken up, and then the next column created. Okay, same way if you see, I want to hide some column. Let's say this owner ID column I want to hide. Simply I go here and I click hide column. That column is hidden. Or I go here, I want to trim. So if you see the trim, if there is some leading or trailing white spaces are there, that will be trimmed. Okay, that kind of thing you can do from here. And if you see, there is something called if I want to convert text to a number, that also you can do by two measures. Let's see which one I'll take. Let this one. This is number to text. Depending on the type of column, what type of data is there, it will show what to do or not to do. Okay. Let's I'm here. See, for example, I'm going to do it here. To measure, for example, I do here. So now it will create a new column by transferring the dimension field. See, this is some kind of text field. Simply I go and add it. See what happened. This data cannot be converted to a number, so it's become 000. That kind of thing we can do directly from here. Okay, so if any text type of field you can convert to like how you say in analytics dimension to measure, that you can do. Okay, and let's see, I want to replace. Let's wherever I have brown. Okay, let's see wherever I have this name. Okay, GUI, this name. Okay, I want to replace with devices, for example. Okay, I click that. Then now you see the new column created, the same thing replaced with devices. So all this kind of behavior of transformation we can use. We can do column height, show profile, you can do trim, substring, split, convert to uppercase, lowercase, you can convert to date, or even you can write a formula on this. See, I can write a formula on a specific field. Okay, like how you did the formula field, same kind of thing also you can do. If you want to see more on the formula, see if you click on help on writing a formula, you can see on the BI how we used to create a formula and the recipe. We'll see more example on the upcoming sessions. Okay, how we're going to do this transformation. In the transformation, how I'm going to write a formula. Okay, simple formulas, how you do same kind of thing. You can let's say you have multiple data and I want to sum up two columns, that also you can do. Okay, and let me go here and then see, you can do the bucket of fields. Okay, like in the Salesforce classic Salesforce report, how you do the bucketing, same kind of bucketing also you can do. Okay, once you do all these things, if you want, you can save here, like save recipe, or you can save as a new recipe. Let's I just click on the save recipe. So I create a recipe with this kind of transformations. And whatever you are doing, everything you can see here. We did a filter, we then appended, we convert to uppercase, lowercase, split, substring, all kind of thing you can see from here what you did. If you want to remove, simply you can go here and remove it, or you can edit what we did also. And if you see the profiles, totally I have 1152 values here. Okay, so frequent values, what's if you analyze on this one, this column, so frequently this is 96 times used, all the stuff. So let's see, I'll go to account owner name. See, on this name, if you analyze, so you can see this is a value which used 45 times. All kind of analysis. Okay, out of all these rows, 583 have value, 569 doesn't have value. You can see that totally how many rows and how many values are there, and which being used how many times. Everything we can see. If you go to the attributes, okay, so what is this column API name? What is this field label? And this is what type of. Okay, that also you can see from here. So these are nothing but the recipe page where you can create a recipe from a data set, or you can add data set to that. You can take the data and you can filter the data based on this. If I go here, let's I want to filter where owner last name is on this column. Let's I want to filter where owner last, or I want to filter the amount which is less than 32,000 or 30,000, that kind of thing. Okay, what filter I want to add here. based on amount I want to add. Okay, if amount less than, consider 40,000, I click apply. This is a filter. So now you see the data what I get, it's filtered out based on the amount filter. Nothing but what data set you have. In data set you may have many records, but then from that I can filter out, I can create a recipe to get specific data. Okay, then you can add the column or append the data on this recipe from different data source or from different connected data, and then you can do multiple transformation like whatever options we have here. Okay, you can see here you can add, append, filter, and you can do the aggregate also. Let's see, I go to aggregate. So let's see, in the aggregate I want to use based on the sum of amount. Okay, totally how much value I have, I click on the done. So now if you see total aggregate you did on the sum of amount, it's this much total value. So you can do all kind of functions what you do in the report in the Salesforce, and based on that you can analyze easily what is the things and how many data you have on this. Let's see, if I did this is aggregate and I want to remove, simply I can go here and I can click remove it here. From this drop down, go and click on the remove. Then it's removed these things. Okay, so next we'll see more detail about dataset, the dataset attributes. Okay, we understood to create a dataset from the scratch using the data flow. Okay, from then we'll see more specific on the dataset, what the properties of dataset and how we are going to play around with that. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next session.